now that you've taken out Cyrus, there's only one thing left for you in the Distortion World. At least for right now. That is Giratina. Origin Forme Giratina, as a matter of fact. So cross these stepping stones and watch as Giratina flies right down. Right down. Ooh, so creepy. Oh man. They made this scene so cool. Now it'll quietly eye you there, so that actually does give you enough time to save your game right on that spot before fighting Giratina. So keep that in mind. In fact, I highly recommend you do that before fighting Giratina, just because not only is Giratina pretty tough, but Giratina is also pretty tough to catch. Giratina is a ghost dragon type at level 47. Let's see. Now it flinched there because I have the Razor Fang on it, which sometimes makes the Pokemon I'm hitting flinch. So don't think it's some sort of weird, what did he just do? How did he flinch? What's that all about? Okay. Giratina does use Shadow Force, which is a very powerful ghost type move, very similar to Fly. I highly recommend switching your Pokemon to a normal type if it uses that. If Giratina uses Shadow Force, do that because it will hit for a lot of damage otherwise. Thankfully, Aquila, my Staraptor, is part normal type, so Aquila is actually completely immune to both Ominous Wind and Shadow Force. Other than that, though, Giratina has Dragon Claw and Ancient Power. Yeah, there's Ancient Power, not good. Now, both Ancient Power and Ominous Wind have a 10% chance of increasing all of... Oh, yeah, see right there? The 10% chance of increasing all of Giratina's stats by one stage. And that turns Giratina into a lot more of a monster. You really want to hope that Giratina does not get lucky with that attack. Either of those two attacks. Now, unlike Dialga and Palkia from Diamond and Pearl, Giratina is very difficult to catch. It has the normal legendary catch rate of 3, if you're familiar with catch rates and stuff. Meaning it will take you a lot to catch it. I think even if it only has 1 hit point left, and it's asleep, which is like the best possible conditions, and you're using Dust Balls on it, I think even then there's only like 10% chance or so of catching it. Might be off on that, but still, you get the idea. It's very difficult to catch. So expect to waste plenty of Dust Balls trying to catch it. You'll even want to be using Hyper Potions to heal your Pokemon between each hit. Now, you might be thinking that, oh, Timer Balls, just use Timer Balls. No, don't use Timer Balls, come on. They only have a 4 times catch rate, which is the same as Dust Balls in this circumstance, except you need to wait 40 turns before a Timer Ball will have that high of a catch rate, and by then, Giratina's going to be using Struggle. So come on, just use Dust Balls. It's the best ball to use in this instance. You just gotta hope you get lucky here. I mean, really, that's all it is. Just keep using Hyper Potions and hope you get lucky. If you have a Pokemon that can inflict sleep, great, use it. I don't. A lot of people playing will not have a Pokemon that it can inflict sleep or paralyze or any number of conditions. You don't need one of those, but obviously if you have one, great, you know, all the power to you. It'll make your fight a little bit easier, but you can still catch it if you don't. Now, one thing really important to keep in mind, if you do not catch Giratina, if you knock it out, even if it's by accident, you can catch Giratina later on in the game. Like, you can do it. You'll just have to find Giratina in the Turnback Cave, which is where you found it in Diamond and Pearl. It'll still be level 47, but it will be in its Altered Forme, which is, you know, the Diamond and Pearl form. So if you knock it out here, if it's just too much for you to handle, if you don't want to use it for the Elite Four or whatever, go ahead, knock it out. You can find it there later on. I'm not going to be showing video coverage of that because I am going to be catching this Giratina. But just in case, you know, you missed out on yours, or you knocked it out and you're thinking, no, the world hates me. Why can it do this? Why did I have to knock it out? You can catch it again. It's okay. Well, let's see if I can catch this thing. Man, come on. Certainly taking enough Dust Balls. I hope you brought like 30 or 40 or more, because you'll need a lot of them. Remember, you cannot throw Dust Balls or any sort of balls at it while it is using Shadow Force. So I take that opportunity to either heal my Pokemon or to, well, in Aquila's case, use Double Team, or if you got a Pokemon that has a stat-altering move, you know, use something like that. Although primarily you'll want to just be healing, so. See, this is way harder to catch than Dialga and Palkia. Way harder to catch. If you want, you can use your Master Ball on it. I wouldn't recommend it, but, you know, it's sort of nice to have anyway. There's a lot harder Pokemon to catch, though, than Giratina, so you might want to hold on to that Master Ball still. Let's see. No, that one's still not catching it. Man. I guess the random number generator really must hate me, right? Because realistically, unless I had a Pokemon with Paralyze or something else, there's nothing you can do right now to improve your odds. It's not like, you know, I'm totally failing at catching Pokemon, because it's all up to the random number generator, really. I can't lower its hit points anymore. You know, some people, yeah, great, you know, you might have caught it in 1 or 2 Dust Balls, or you might have caught it in a Pokeball. Hey, great, that's great for you. You know what? That's just awesome. Some people like us, you know, and when I say us, I mean us who, it takes like 1,000,000 Dust Balls and like 2 tries or something to catch it. Oh well, at least you'll share my pain. This is actually the second try against Giratina, I'll be honest. The first time it used Struggle and knocked itself out. I know, go figure, right? That's why it's really important you catch it fast, because it'll run out of power points for its moves before too long. Man, I'm really not lucky right now. Hopefully you catch it faster than I did. But realistically, it's all down to luck. That's why I recommend saving before you fight it. If you don't catch it in the first few tries, you know, first dozen or 2, just reset your game. Try again. You know, that's how you do it. There's nothing else that can really be done right here to improve your odds. So, you know, if you're still having problems, just keep trying, alright? It's not that difficult. Just get some patience. There we go! Now we finally caught Giratina. Whew, about time. I was getting really tired of mashing the A button to toss those Dust Balls, to be honest. There it is. Origin Forme Giratina. Looking pretty sweet. Now, the downside is it's not going to be Origin Forme, but I'll show you that in a moment. That Pokemon, that shadowy Pokemon was captured! Does it make it possible for me to make a new world? Yeah, so these two talk for like a long time. Like old friends or something. That's why we can battle and trade with anyone we choose. Silence! Enough of your blathering! Etc., etc. Yeah. Emotions rolling inside of me. My own incomplete spirit. I will create my own perfect world. Yeah, okay, you go for that. You just go ahead. Do that, run along. We don't want to see you anymore. You're gone. Bye. Cynthia says a bunch of things, and then says it's time to go home. Alright, let's go home. I'm done here. Just too bad. It was a really cool place. You can sort of stop by here later on in the game to go to the Turnback Cave, and I'll show you that later. Don't worry. Quite a bit later, though. Yeah, so now you'll appear in the Sendoff Spring, which is sort of on Route 214. And Cynthia will say a bunch of things and tell you have to go tell Professor Rowan. Okay, let's go do that. Hi, Rowan, what's up?
You leave me speechless. You've done it. You've really done it. 60 years of living. Etc., etc.
I was really worried about you, Devin. Devin, I'm so glad to see you safe. Welcome back. Rowan will tell you that the 3 Pokemon of the lakes, they have reappeared. So you can catch them now. In fact, I'm actually going to go catch one of them. I'll do that on the next episode, as a matter of fact. At least I'm pretty sure I will. But before that, let's check out our new Giratina here. As you'll see, it's an Altered Forme, which is the one you get in Diamond and Pearl. But you can change it into Origin Forme if you go back to the Turnback Cave and make your way back to the Distortion World, which is a little portal thing. I'll show you that later on in the game.